Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Callie and I'm here for all your top tips on relationship, mindset, and lifestyle imbalances. Now, today we're actually going into procrastination because I know about procrastination because sometimes I procrastinate as well. The things, very small things that, I actually need to do. So today, I can tell you some of the tips and tricks that get me out of procrastination and that I helped many of my clients get out of procrastination as well. So by the end of this video, you will actually understand or know if you are procrastinating and how to get out of them too, right? So let's dive right into it and let's start with the first tip. So tip number one, are you a last minute person? Right? You seem to always leave things to the last minute, right? So you know you have an important task to do. You either have to sit down and write, you know that you have to make that phone call, you know that you have to complete this task, this deadline, and be somewhere, go to the gym even, right? But somehow you'll be saying, I'll be right. I've got time, I've got plenty of time, I can do this a bit later, I've got more important things to do. And it seems like you're putting it off to the very last minute, right? And this is a sign that you are procrastinating, however you are, whichever way that you are procrastinating. And the thing is, last minute people, and this may be you, likes this mostly due the next day or very soon, and they get this thrill or this adrenaline rush, this that, oh my god, I gotta get it done, and you get this feeling, and a lot of people like it for some reason, right? And if that's you, then you're procrastinating. You also like this adrenaline rush and this thrill at the end of it as well. And this is the last minute procrastination person. So tip number two. Now tip number two is about delaying decision making. Yeah. When this happens, there's a belief or there's this fear behind making a decision because you don't want to know the outcome, right? Because the point is, you don't know what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen when I make this decision, right? Would I have more responsibilities? Would I have to do more? What happens if I lose money? What happens if people don't like it? What happens if it fails? What happens if it turns out bad, right? And these are the thoughts. So what happens is we end up delaying, right? We end up delaying all the things that are happening. And so we don't have to come to that conclusion or have that outcome. Because when we make a final decision, it almost seems like we foresee what will happen, or you think you know what will happen, and you don't want that outcome to happen, right? So therefore, procrastination on this side of things, by delaying decisions, is gonna really stop you from achieving your important goals. Because the truth is it really gonna turn out like that? May not, right? Is it really going to end up the way that you think it is? And the truth is it's not. It could be so many outcomes and so many different turnarounds or turnouts. And that's something that you need to come to terms with and say, okay, I need to really make a decision. And what is the best decision for me during this time for the best outcome? So tip number three. Now you might have heard me say this before, and this is about avoiding. And this is a procrastination as well, because you want to avoid the outcome. Even though you know it's important, you want to avoid because of fear of actually making it success or fear of failing, right? These are the two avoidance, right? So you fear that, what happens when I make it there? Will my friends even recognize me? Would they want to even still be with me? What will people think overall, right? How about, fear of failing, right? So what if I fail? Will people still talk to me? Do they, what happens? I'll lose face. I'll be a loser, or however you're thinking in your mind. This is about avoiding, and this is a sort of procrastination as well, avoiding the outcome and avoiding the situation because you fear something might happen. And the point is, I might have mentioned this before in other videos as well, that to the point where you actually don't want to put much effort into it. So hence you procrastinate. You kind of put half the effort, a little effort, or even not as much effort into it. So you know, even if you tried and you failed or succeed, that you didn't put that much effort into it. So it's not that important to you. And so other people feel, well, you know, oh well, I didn't make it, right? And that's the fear of actually making it out and succeeding, or fear of failing. So if you are doing this and you feel like some of the points that I've said already hit the point, comment below and really comment that, yeah, you know, this really hit the point and this is how I feel about it, and let me reply to you and I'll help you and guide you with some better tips specifically to you, right? The tip number 4, are you a perfectionist? Right? You want every little detail, information, everything done perfect before you actually put it out to the world, right? This is a source of procrastination, you know that, right? You know, that's the thing. Nothing in this world is going to be exactly perfect to the T, and when to put it out, so you know that exact response that you're going to get, right? So even if you made this most amazing piece, are you going to get the exact result that you're really after? And the answer is no. You know, people have different opinions, people have different feelings, people have different, you know, understanding of what you're producing, right? And then the answer could be very different. So if you are trying to be perfect in what you are trying to be perfect on and then release it, you're delaying and delaying and delaying week after week, month or years till you produce something good, where you can actually, you know, create something, put it out there to the world, come back, you know, correct it again and put it out to the world again. So recognize that if you're trying to be too perfect, just get in there and do it, right? Now, tip number 5. Tip number 5 is about habit, right? It's a habit of you doing a certain thing to stop you from actually achieving your outcome that you always want to do. So especially when people that have poor coping mechanisms, it's almost like a way to kind of, you know, not deal with the situation and just do something else instead, right? So instead you'll be, oh, actually, I'm just going to check Facebook out again, or I'm just going to take some photos for Instagram, or actually, I'm just going to watch some cat videos or dog videos, right? So these are some of the things that you could be doing out of habit, so you don't want to face the stressful time. So after all the points above, there's a few points I'm going to mention below that you can do and use now, so you can actually implement it now. Now, the first one is actually changing the habit, right? You know, so if you are watching videos or going on Facebook or Instagram, then change that habit, doing something else. You know, it's like, okay, I've got to do this work, I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and by the time I get back, I'm going to start, right? And change it with the habit that you're actually going to achieve what you're going to achieve. Also, I mentioned a book about Mel Robbins, about 5-second rule. It's a very good book to get out of procrastination. And I've got this link below so you can buy one too, or actually read about it. Now, the next tip is about actually creating a really good goal list, a list that really resonates with you, connects to your heart. It's so big, this goal, that it means so much to you that you will do whatever it takes to get it. That, you know what, you commit to it because people are depending on you, or you are depending on yourself, that, you know what, I really want this, you know, to the point where it connects you and your tasks together, and it will push you forward to, you know what, I want to do this, I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, and get that drive back. Because once your purpose is so great and so connected with you, you will do everything that you can to make this real, and it wouldn't even be like a task anymore. It's actually part of your love, part of your creation, part of your, you know, your purpose to actually create this, and actually fun. It actually turns out fun because it actually means so much to you, right? And this leads me to the next one. So this is the part where you actually prioritize which are the 3 top things I must do today, right? These 3 things, and you, like, the first thing you do is actually go in, actually get these 3 things done. Don't do it at the end of the day. Don't, you know, maybe before bed. It's the first thing. Okay, these 3 tasks are important to me. I'm going to do these 3 things first, right? And just get them out of the way. So at least by the end of the day, you'll be like, okay, my 3 important things are done. Right, I'll do now the 4th one, the 5th one, and maybe, you know, the 7th one. Stay tuned with me, because next week I'll be talking about anxiety behaviors. You know, so do you feel like you have anxiety when you're about to do something, or you feel like you're nervous, you know you can do it, but somehow something happens and you end up not doing it because you're anxious, right? So stay tuned with me, because next week I'll be going all into that. So click on the subscribe button, the notification button, so you can get notified of my new video. And also, in my description below, I have a happiness guide free for everyone, right? So click on it, you can go through the processes, and I'll tell you all about the happiness from within. And until then, I will chat to you guys next week. And for now, bye.